Hi, this is Juan Maclean, and you're watching Fader TV.
So DJ Kicks, it's a pretty cool establishment, like 15 years. How did you get involved?
Well, I had never done a DJ mix before,
Right.
and I intentionally sort of held off until I thought I could do a DJ Kicks mix because it was, I think it's like the most highly revered DJ mix series
Yeah, totally.
in general. So I feel like I was sort of saving myself for that.
What was the process of putting it all together?
Well, it's obviously very inspired by DJing, which actually is not such a funny thing to say because a lot of the DJ Kicks mixes aren't done by DJs. I mean, I think some of the best ones weren't, like the Buka Shade one, which is probably my favorite. They're not DJs, and it doesn't really feel like a club DJ mix. But mine was definitely inspired by, my experiences in clubs DJing and what works in a club setting. So I was really trying to ride the line of presenting like a club experience and at the same time having it be listenable at home.
What did you use?
Well, I decided that I was going to mix the entire thing with vinyl on turntables, which I'm not sure has been done in years and years, probably. But in general now, people tend to do DJ mixes on the computer. And there's software that actually mixes the tracks for you, and it's all sort of perfectly lined up. But I really wanted to give it much more of a live feel. So that's why I did it with basically two turntables, a couple of filters, and a tape delay that I send the tracks through. There's a lot of like echo and delay on the mix as well.
What does it feel like when you figure out like these two need to go next to each other?
It's great. It's like, it's like, I was going to say when someone solves a math problem or something, that doesn't seem very exciting.
Well,
But it really is like a sort of revelation where you're like, wow, these two things sort of magically work together. Because it really is, or it should be, like two records talking to each other. I think that's the point of DJing. Otherwise, you might as well just use a jukebox. But I tried to take that to a more literal place on the mix where there are vocal snippets actually doing like a call and response. Like one record is playing, then I bring in the next one, and one's saying something, and then the next phrase, the other one saying something.
did you go through multiple incarnations of the mix?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I probably got approval for, as many as 50 tracks, maybe. Yeah, so I did a lot of different things before I ended up at this point. I would have done the mix the rest of my life if I would have gone down that road, which is something that I did actually. I did it over and over and over, and it just never seemed good enough. And when I actually sent the file off to K7, I remember I walked away and went somewhere and had an anxiety attack because I was like, I wonder if I can call them and tell them I want to do it again or something. And then I realized I could do that for years.